The following contest scheduled for one fall.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to One Fall Friday. Hell in a Cell is this Sunday, so today we are going over all the matches, and I'm giving you my predictions. So let's start off with a match I think is probably going to end up being first, and that's by no means a bad thing. It's just, you know, one of those things. It's a regular old match, and it's something to get the crowd going, to get the... It's kind of like an appetizer for the show, if you will, and that's Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler. Not selling either one of these two short. In fact, I kind of want to talk about this match plus the WWE Championship match at the same time, and you'll see where I'm going with this. So, first off, Dolph Ziggler versus Bobby Roode. It's going to be an incredible match. These are the two best in-ring performers that we have currently, or I mean, there's numerous ones. There's AJ, there's Kevin Owens, but I mean, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode are definitely included in this list of people that can work their ass off in the ring. With the story that's being told and the direction that I think that they're going to go in, I'm pretty sure Dolph is going to lose this match to Bobby. And the reason for that is I think the direction that they're going to go is that they're building up Bobby Roode to be the person for Jinder Mahal to go up against and lose the title to. I think they need to... Well, I think they want to build up Jinder as best as they can so that by the time it comes around that they put him up against Bobby Roode, that it's going to be that much more of a better match. And Dolph Ziggler, you know, he's been going through this kind of transformation, I guess you could call it, you know, a revamp of his character, or a relaunch. I don't know what you would call it, really. I don't know what to expect. He says he's going to have like a really nice entrance. You know, he's been doing parodies of a lot of famous wrestlers' entrances the past couple weeks on SmackDown, and he says that he's got a new one that he's going to do. It's probably going to end up just him coming out like he always does. I really don't know what he could do different, but anyway, that's besides the point. I mean, the guy's an incredible in-ring worker. He's one of the best that we have right now, and him and Bobby Roode are going to have a fantastic match, and I think that Bobby Roode is going to win, and I think that Bobby Roode is going to be built up to go up against Jinder Mahal. So in regards to the WWE Championship match, I'd say Jinder Mahal is going to retain against Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, this second match between him and Nakamura, there's definitely a lot more interest in this time around. It's been built up a lot better. The first time around, it was like, okay, these two are going to have a match, and we really didn't get any kind of interaction between the two. And so I really wasn't that invested, and I wasn't that surprised when Shinsuke didn't win. But there's a lot more investment this time around because there's been a lot more interaction between these two characters. But it's still not strong enough, in my eyes, for Shinsuke to win. Now, maybe he will win. Maybe he'll win, and then he'll end up having a rematch with Jinder, and Jinder takes the title back. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure what they want to do is have Jinder versus Bobby Roode, because there's really no other reason why they would have brought Bobby Roode in as a face whenever he was a heel in NXT. Now, he was well over with the crowd, but that's because he had a cult following by the time he got to NXT. You know, he had fans from, you know, that have been watching him since Impact Wrestling, so he had a following, so he was going to get cheered regardless. But I think they saw that potential in him to be a good face. And so that was, I mean, since Shinsuke isn't really getting the momentum that I was thinking and hoping that they wanted him to get, I think they realized it's probably going to be a slower burn, because the fans of the main roster aren't like the fans of NXT, where, you know, they recognize greatness when they see it. It's got to be a build-up. It's got to be a slow burn. So yeah, I don't think it's Shinsuke's time. I think Jinder's going to retain, and I think Bobby Roode is going to beat Dolph Ziggler. Okay, so we're going to have a rematch between Rusev and Randy Orton. I'm not really interested that much in this match. I've just kind of fallen out of touch with Randy Orton. I was a big fan of his in the early 2000s when he was, everywhere all the time. And, he was always bouncing back and forth between a good guy and a bad guy. I really, really enjoyed Randy Orton then. I still enjoy him now. I mean, the guy can still go. He's doing really good. But I just, with so many other newer members of the roster, I've just kind of pushed him aside. I don't really care that much about him. It upset me that he beat Rusev that fast at their last match, whatever pay-per-view it was. It might have been SummerSlam. And since then, Rusev has kind of had retribution. Like, he challenged Randy to a match and he agreed, and then he ended up beating him in 9 seconds, kind of like Randy did. But I don't know, so I guess you could call this the rubber match since it's their third time meeting if you want to. They're trying to throw in Aiden English in the mix with this. I really don't understand what they're doing with that either. I just think that, they like Aiden English and they probably just don't know what else to do with him. So, hey, let's get him involved with Randy Orton and Rusev. What else are we going to do with him? I would like Rusev to win this match. I don't know if he's going to. Randy Orton's been doing a lot of favors lately for a lot of newer up-and-coming talents, so he might go ahead and lose this time around, especially since he had, such a dominant victory at SummerSlam. I think they'll finally have a more drawn-out, like maybe an average regular-sized match this time around, maybe, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes long. But yeah, if I was going to predict a winner, fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and say Rusev. I think Rusev's going to win this time around. United States Championship match. AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. Now, I've heard rumors that Baron Corbin got in some trouble, and that's the reason why he got his Money in the Bank taken away. So if he got punished for that, I don't know why they would go ahead and hand him the United States Championship. Plus, I can't stand Baron Corbin at all. So I would like to see AJ Styles retain. I think AJ Styles would retain. However, it would make sense for Baron Corbin to win, and they can continue the feud that he's been having with Ty Dillinger. And, they could have a match over the United States Championship, give Ty some spotlight. Actually, I think that would make more sense. Okay, so let's say Baron Corbin beats AJ Styles. He's the United States Champion. Baron can move on from AJ. I mean, of course, AJ's going to have his rematch. It'll probably happen on a SmackDown, but Baron Corbin can retain. But then Ty Dillinger can show up and say, hey, man, I want a title shot. I've beaten you, so I deserve a title shot. And then they can keep that rivalry going, because that's been a pretty decent rivalry, Baron Corbin and Ty Dillinger. It's been okay to see. Much more interesting than him and AJ. I mean, AJ's great, but I don't think him and Baron Corbin I don't think they mix that well. I don't care. I'm not interested, because I know that AJ Styles is 100 times better than Baron Corbin. Now, I think that Ty Dillinger is definitely better than Baron Corbin, but for some reason that just seems more interesting to me, and that's just my personal opinion. But if AJ lost the title to Baron and then lost the rematch to Baron, he can move on and maybe have a match with Jinder Mahal after he retains against Shinsuke, and that can help put Jinder Mahal that much more over than he already is. If he beats AJ Styles, which is, he's the face of SmackDown, then that would solidify him as a legitimate champion, and then that would make his match with Bobby Roode that much more special. So this is kind of like how I would like to see things happen. It would make sense, but you can't guess Vince McMahon. You never know what he's going to do or what he's planning. But it would make sense to me if that's what they did, and if I was a booker, that's what I would do in this situation. And I'm just going to go ahead and predict that's what's going to happen. Whether that's the exact direction they go or not, even if Baron Corbin beats AJ, who cares? But yeah, I'm gonna I'm going to go ahead and say Baron Corbin is going to be the new United States champion. An old rivalry is renewed. Charlotte Flair versus Natalya. They had some classic matches in Charlotte's days in NXT. And I know that they can have more classic matches. I mean, it makes sense. Why wouldn't you do it? You've got Natalya as your new champion, so of course she should go up against Charlotte because they work so well together, and people know their history and of course their family lineage, and Brett and Rick had a rivalry and yada yada yada. But I mean, they worked that well in the ring. Their matches were uncanny, and I can't wait to see this match. I think though, I mean, every time they've met before, Charlotte's always won. But Natalya just got the championship. So I don't know. I'm going to say Natalya retains. Charlotte might win. It's very probable that Charlotte Flair will win and be the new champion, because she hasn't had SmackDown Gold yet. But Natalya waited forever to be champion, and she just got it, and I think she should hold on to it for more than a month. Also, you have to keep in mind Carmella. If Natalya wins, I don't think Carmella will cash in. If Charlotte wins, I think she'll cash in, and she might steal it from Charlotte. And then, because these three, they've been intertwined with each other for the past 3 weeks. It's all three of these women that have been in the picture. Of course, Carmella's always going to be in the picture because she's Miss Money in the Bank. But they're kind of hinting at it. I mean, it might not happen, because they hinted at stuff all the time with Dolph Ziggler, back when he was Mr. Money in the Bank. And he ended up cashing in the night after WrestleMania on Monday Night Raw. But a lot of people were predicting and assuming that he was going to cash in a lot earlier than that. So, it could go either way, but I'm going to say Natalya's going to retain. Number 1 of 2 Hell in a Cell matches. I wanted to talk about this last week, but I ended up running out of time because the vlog went a little longer than I wanted. SmackDown Tag Team title match. Usos versus the New Day inside Hell in a Cell. It was just announced, I think 2 weeks ago, that the match was going to be a Hell in a Cell match. And I think that's the perfect way, the perfect final chapter to close the book of this rivalry between these two teams, who have had every single match that they've had could be a candidate in itself. All of their matches could all be candidates for best match of the year. They've just worked so well together. I've said it every single time that I've done a vlog about these two teams, that they're great, they're special, they're incredible. Their chemistry is just, it's lightning in a bottle. You just don't get it that much. And the company, I mean, at least the commentators on TV, they haven't really talked about it that much until recently, trying to promote this match, that, all of their matches have been high quality A matches. So this one, I think, is probably going to steal the show and be one of the the biggest match of the night, because it doesn't get any better than Hell in a Cell. And I'm kind of curious to see which members of the New Day are going to compete. But as far as a winner, God, I hate to see either one of these teams lose, honestly. I want them both to be champions. Oh, gosh. I think maybe the Usos will win. They've been, every single pay-per-view, they've been passing the titles back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I think they really want to have Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable to have a title match, and it wouldn't make sense for them to go up against the New Day. So I think the Usos will probably take the titles back and be SmackDown Tag Team Champions for the 5th time. Number 2 Hell in a Cell match. Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. This match is going to be, again, another must-see match. I don't think it'll live up to the tag team Hell in a Cell match, but it's Shane McMahon in an extreme environment, and he always does wild and crazy shit to give people their money's worth. And I definitely don't see it going either, any different way than that in this scenario, especially with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is the same thing. He'll put himself in some awkward situations and he'll sell some really incredible moves. He'll get on a ladder and someone will, dive off and, the ladder will break from underneath him while taking an elbow drop. They're going to come up with something. Him and Kevin Owens are going to put on a hell of a show. I'm pretty sure Kevin Owens will win, but he might not. Shane McMahon might win, for all the shit that Kevin has been, talking about. But Kevin's been kind of on a losing streak, and it's been Shane's MO to, the last few matches that he's had since he's been back. Which Undertaker, he was in the Survivor Series match, and AJ Styles. All three of those matches he's lost. So he doesn't really have a reason to win, though, either. So I think Kevin Owens is going to win this match. All right, you guys, that's all the matches for this Sunday. So let me know what you think in the comments, who you think is going to win each match. If you agree with me or if you disagree, any direction that you think they might go, let me know and we'll talk about it. I'm excited to watch. It should be a very, very good, entertaining pay-per-view. Thank you guys very much for watching this episode. I'll be back later with another video. I hope to see you there. My name is Dave, and I am the One Man Rave. See ya!